Well, we are back at Chelsea Records and we are going in. What do you think? Wanna find something? Sure we do. Ah, do. Hi everybody. Just came back from Antwerp where we visit the record store, the Chelsea Records. And I came across a shop and they had this jacket hanging there. It's a bomber jacket, kind of like Elvis wore in the photo shoots for Jellas Rock. So I looked at the price. It was 35 euros. That's cheap. I said, let's snag it up. It's a little different. It's not a replica. It's a look-alike, and I like it. So I bought it, and now I own it. Now that's not what I want to talk to you about. I went to the record shop, the record store, Chelsea Records in Antwerp, where I frequent visit there because it's a great shop. And one of the records I found there is this one. Now, this is a tribute to Elvis, and I don't really normally buy tributes, but I had just enough money for one more record, and that was the only one I could afford for that kind of amount money that I still had. So I thought, well, why not? And it's also very special. It's a sloppy record. It's very sloppy. The quality is not that good. It's not bad either. But as you can see, what really bugs me, there are new songs on it. Swing Down, Sweet Charlotte. Never heard of that. Maybe it's a new one. I played it, but it's not a new one. And then it says here, His Hand in Mine. That's all good and well, except on the back, it's His Band in Mine. Maybe Elvis stuck a band up his. Oh, no, I don't think he did that. But anyway, it's just a tribute. It's not going into my collection, but I liked it. I thought I bought it, but buy it for the price that it was. And then anyway, I found this Brazil record from Brazil. I'll show you the label. It's a gray label. You can see it's from 1987. Some of you guys only collect records from Elvis his life time. I collect everything. So this is a Brazil one, and it's called. What's the Spanish word for 10? I'm not sure. Maybe someone can comment and teach me. So I say 10 años maybe, de Saudades. If anybody knows what that means, please slip it in the comments. That's the first record I bought there. It's a great one. I always like the foreign pressings. Also like the USA pressings. Also like English pressings. I like all pressings. Anyway, this is the second one. It's from Spain. And as you can see, it's exact the same cover except in as the Italian one, but the Italian one is red. And this one is called Historia de la Musica en el Cine, the history of the music of the movies. And it's the movie Love Me Tender, Jailhouse Rock. And it's a kind of yellow brownish ochre label. I like the cover. I like this cover. And then, as I said in my last video, this picture was used for a lot of albums from my previous video, as you might remember. If you don't, it's in my vocabulary. And I found this one. I think you recognize the picture from those. It's one of the Impact series. There are a lot of those French pressings, red label. I They are cheap, and I kind of like those covers. Don't ask me why, because it's just a band that you have them in blue and yellow and all kinds. I have others here somewhere, but I thought, well, let's take a record with the same picture again. And that's all I bought at the record store in Antwerp. Now, the day before yesterday, yesterday, we went hiking to one of my favorite places in Belgium. It's, in my opinion, the most beautiful place in Belgium. It's in a little town called Nadrin in Houffalize, close to the border of Luxembourg. And it's called Le Heroux. It's a hillside with steep hills and steep cliffs and everything. And after that, we walked for about, I don't know, maybe 10 miles. So I got hungry, and we went in about 5 miles further up to the west to a town called La Roche, and we went there to eat something. And passing by that little town, which is a beautiful town, La Roche, if you get a chance to go there, please. And it's also a part of the Battle of the Bulges and the Ardennes. And there's tanks everywhere, and there's also a tank that is similar to the one featured in GI Blues. Exact the same one, except a real old one. And by in searching for a restaurant to eat something, I came by a store called the American Store. And of course, American Store. Let's see if there's some Elvis. And indeed, I found a little thing Elvis. It's just a metal plate, but I just wanted to show you. It costs 11.95 euros, and it's made in China. It's an American Store for you. They had other plates, but I thought this was the best looking, because I like Speedway, I like all the movies. But then, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm gonna break character for a while. You know me as a good humored, I hope, lucky go, whatever kind of guy, glass half full, all that thing. But now I have to break character for a little time. Just hear me out. A couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine, Michel Van Eyck, a very good guy, very nice guy, very good gentleman. He posted a post on Facebook, saying he was interviewed for a Dutch television program about Elvis. And he said it's airing on Thursday, I think, a couple of weeks ago. I didn't want to make this video, but it kept turning in my head and turning and turning, and I thought, well, I have to make a video about it. I have to say what's on my liver, so to speak. And I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's supposed to be a tribute to Elvis, and the only good thing that was in there was the interview with my friend Michel, which was great. And it has nothing to do with Michel himself. Michel is a very great guy, very nice gentleman. He sells Elvis stuff on Marketplace and all those things, and he does it not with the sky high prices, fair prices. Very nice gentleman. Nothing of his fault. Anyway, it's lucky that it's only in Dutch, because it's a Dutch television program, and it's called The Best of Pop. And it's a series. It's not only about Elvis, but every week they do another uh, musician or a group, like Wham, for instance. They're gonna do, and so they did Elvis. Of course, I was very enthusiastic because he sent that post up on Facebook, and I watched it. And I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if this is their kind of take on a tribute to a person, I would really dread to see what their hate uh, is for a person, because this was maybe good intentions, but very poorly executed. It started, ladies and gentlemen, with a presenter who was a okay nice guy maybe, but he was everywhere. He was all over the place, and so he when he introduced the first guest. Remember, it's an Elvis tribute show. First, they played 1 minute of Elvis's life. Elvis's life in 1 minute. Okay, it's a show that was great. That was good. But then he introduced his first guest, and it was a kind of nerdy looking. Excuse me for the. I don't want to bash anybody, but he looked a little bit like a nerd to me. But okay, I'm nerdy too, so we're colleagues. But this guy, he said, "Well, why do you like Elvis?" The interviewer asked him, "Why do you like Elvis?" Well, it was a young guy, actually, much younger than me. I like Elvis because he went on the Timex show with Frank Sinatra. Now, Frank Sinatra to me, he said, not my words, he said, Frank Sinatra to me is God. That's God. And Elvis, well, Elvis is below that. Okay. Tastes difference, of course, but for an Elvis tribute show, okay. That was the first icky little thing, huh? And but he liked Elvis too, and then he was a singer, and I have to say he sang really good. He did a song because he liked the Timex show with Elvis, and you know Elvis did a sketch there with Frank Sinatra singing each other's songs. Frank sang "Love Me Tender" and Elvis sang "Witchcraft" in a duet form, and so that guy chose to sing "Love Me Tender" the way Frank Sinatra sang it. Okay, so far so good. Okay, I don't mind that. I did it. Love me tender, love me true. You know uh, that Frank Sinatra style, which is okay, I guess. But then he asked the interviewer asked him, "What was your first memory of Elvis?" And he said, "Well, my first memory, because I'm young, was that when my dad told me that had died. Elvis passed away. Now get this, on the toilet while eating a pie." So Elvis, and I don't understand, why would you eat a pie on the toilet? He said that, not my words, but this guy said that. At that point, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to throw my remote control to the television but I remembered I'm not a rich man and I can't afford a new television set, so I refrained from doing that. Anyway, I thought to myself, "Are you kidding me, man? It's There's no dignity in death. That death is dead. The way Elvis died, we all know how he died. There's no dignity in that. But let's just leave that alone. You don't have to say that on television, and certainly not lie about it because he wasn't eating a pie, at least." Okay, that got me really mad, and I wanted to turn the TV off. But I saw then a glimpse of my friend in the audience, and I thought, okay, give it a second chance. Okay, then he sang his song, "Love Me Tender," you know. The next part was again a little bit of Elvis's history with clips of Elvis singing Hound Dog and on the Ed Sullivan Show, which is great, of course. It's always great to see Elvis in '56. Fantastic footage. Just few clips of it, and then there was a next guest, and this was also again a nice guy, probably a little bit older than me, not a real old guy, but maybe 60 years old or something. And he said, "Well, I liked Elvis in the 50s. Nothing wrong with that. I like Elvis in the 50s too. I like Elvis in the 60s. I like Elvis in the 70s. I like Elvis all the time." But anyway, he liked Elvis in the 50s because after that, let's be honest, he got bloated. He got displaced in the stupid movies, sang only in Las Vegas, did nothing after the 50s. Okay. Uh, he also sang a song, and I must say that was the best song of the evening. He did Trouble, and really rocking version of it, a good version, but okay. Elvis in the 50s was great, but so was Elvis in the 60s. Remember the 68 special? Uh, and other things. Remember the fantastic album Elvis is Back in the 60s. Even some of the soundtracks were great. Girls, 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 I like that soundtrack. Return to Sender, it's a beautiful song. Devil in the Skies, you name it, Please Don't Drag That String Around. All those songs are beautiful, great testaments of Elvis's talent and his singing. So anyway, okay. Then it was time for, excuse me, the interview with my friend Michelle, and that was great. But as I said, the interviewer was a little bit all over the place, and he didn't let them speak out, and he always interrupted them, and that was kind of annoying. And okay, then they had this segment about a preacher, a pastor called Fred Omvley, in very well known in Holland, in the Netherlands. He does Elvis services in church. Nothing wrong with that. I'm okay with that. He sings Amazing Grace and all those gospel songs in his church. Things a little bit, well, a little bit awkward, I would say. But okay, that was not really my gripe with the rest of the thing. But then they had this other guest, and I don't know who did the research for this show, but it's if you want to make a tribute to someone, especially Elvis, a great man, a great singer, a great entertainer like Elvis, and you don't do more research than that, or you don't get better guests who actually like Elvis, um, this next guy, he really takes the cake. Really. Uh, there was this guy who owned a store, and he had a little museum, and they showed some pictures. Maybe I don't know if I can show some pictures here. I'm going to try to do that. Take some screenshots and show you this little museum of Elvis records. Not the greatest records, but all normal records. And I'm sorry, I had to leave for a while. There was someone at the door, so cut and start over. So where was I? Oh yeah. So there was this guy who had a store, and one day he went to a flea market and he saw some Elvis records lying there. Now, get this, he bought them because he liked the covers. Didn't know Elvis, and then the interviewer asked him, "Are you a fan of Elvis?" No, 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 I'm not a fan. No, no, certainly not a fan. He's certainly not on my playlist because, in my opinion, that's the guy's words, not mine. Let me make that clear. In my opinion, his opinion, music has to have soul and feeling. I don't get that with Elvis music. It's good for lounge music, for a background, but not. It's certainly not on my playlist. Let's get that straight. Let's make that clear. But I like the covers, and so I put them on display, not for sale, but on display at the counter of my store. And a gentleman came in and he said, "Oh, are you an Elvis fan?" No, not really. Oh, but I have some records of Elvis. I have a stack of records of Elvis. I give them to you. Oh, yeah, why not? And that kept repeating, he said, until he got about 500 albums, Elvis albums, which he wasn't a fan of, which he didn't play, but he had 500 records. So, what do when you're not an Elvis fan and you have 500 Elvis records? You make an Elvis room. Of course, why wouldn't you? So he displayed all the records across the walls, and now he wants to get rid of them. And his wife was there too, and the interviewer said, "Are you an Elvis fan?" "Oh, no, no, I'm not an Elvis fan." "Oh, certainly not." I mean, really, why make a tribute show about a great guy, great entertainer like Elvis? Have stupid people. I'm sorry, I can't. I don't fault anybody if you're not an Elvis fan, you're not an Elvis fan. But don't come on a tribute show for an Elvis show. I mean, and I'm really sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for my disgust here. I'm not normally like that. I just wanted to share with you that program, Best of Pop, is best of shit. Hey, let's leave it there before I get crazy and want to hang myself. I'm not going to do that. No way. If you saw the program, if you're living in Belgium or in the Netherlands, please leave a comment and say what you think about or thought about that show. It went on, and it was all the same. And I'm pleased to say that I don't have to buy a new television set because I didn't wreck it. But if I had a gun, and I have a gun, I'm a sports shooter, but that's beside the question. But if I had it in my hand, I would do an Elvisky, like they say here. That's how bad it was. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very sorry for this. I hope you forgive me, and let's see you in the next one with a better subject. Not a better subject, but a better piece of information about Elvis. Hey, goodbye.